fucking herpes, bitch. And just because you don't see it on his lip don't mean that he ain't got it, okay? Welcome back to Cosmetics Anonymous. I am your favorite girl, BoETALKS, and today's video is Botox. I think that it's time to do Botox. However, I'm working with limited card space, so don't hate me. But I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try, okay? Because I know you guys miss Botox and I miss it too. So let's go. Hey Bo, I love your channel, your attitude and the advice you give to younger girls about sex and boys. I wish I had more people to watch like this when I was younger. I'd like to remain anon if that's okay. So I've been dating this boy for 7 months now and I'm truly in love with him. There's just a few problems. When I first met him and we were seeing each other, he had a girlfriend that lives in another state, which I did not know about. Long story short, the girl ended up leaving him, and shortly after that we got into a relationship. Everyone that knows him and I have told me that I've been the girl to completely change him. He used to be a bad boy, a cheater, but everyone says I've made him a good boy. I just don't know why everyone else can see it except for me. It took me a long time to gain trust for him because of his past. Sometimes I wish he never told me that he used to cheat, because whenever I'm not with him, my anxiety goes up the roof. I think she meant through the roof. I caught him messaging this girl that everybody knows here as a hoe. But he said that he had a bet with his friends that if he could get her to come back to Melbourne, they would give him money. To be honest, I feel like that was a lie and he made a mistake and got caught. We argue over almost everything, but we are so attracted to each other. I couldn't imagine not seeing him and not being able to talk to him. He has so many good traits, such as the respect he has for his parents, especially his mom, willingness to help others, and kindness, and I love his fear of God. I just don't know why we never agree on the same things. I don't know if it's because he grew up in Africa and I grew up in Australia. I just need advice. I don't know if it's because the honeymoon stage is over, but I want to marry him, but I don't like how we never agree on anything. Were you and Shooter ever at a stage where you would just argue all the time? If so, how did you get over it? Thanks for reading this. It means a lot and love you heaps. Let me think. I think we have gone through that phase of arguing a lot or arguing often. Shortly after we moved in together, actually no, not shortly after we moved in together, when we moved into our second place, I think that's when we were arguing a lot, just because it got really stressful and like we were broke. And I always say that the main thing that people will argue about once they are living with their significant other is money, because life doesn't stop for anybody. So if you are working somewhere and you lose your job and then the other person has to like pick up the pieces, it can be really stressful and it can be really hard. And I think around that time we weren't good with money and it was just a mess. And so we would argue often and it would usually just be about money. And then of course we'd have little petty arguments here and there. The way we got over that was just making a plan for ourselves. So we decided, I remember we were laying in bed one day and we were like, look, this is not working. Like, we can't keep living like this. We can't keep being broke and like worried about how we're gonna pay this bill and that bill. Like, what are we gonna do to fix this? And then we came up with a plan and we executed the plan, and it's been working ever since. When you are arguing that much, sometimes that does mean that it is the end of the relationship, unless you are willing to fight for your relationship. It depends on what you want to do and what you see fit for your relationship and your life. If this is somebody that you think you can spend the rest of your life with, then you guys need to work out your differences and find out exactly what the root of the problems are. See if when you're arguing, is it always based on the same things? When you enter into a relationship with somebody that has a bad past of cheating and stuff, like, you're either going to accept them for who they are, and yes, there is a possibility that it can happen to you too, despite the fact that he was open about his cheating ways. But at the same time, if you're going to pursue a relationship with this person, you can't be worried about if he's cheating on you or not. Like, you don't have time for that. And if you can't get past that, then you don't need to be in a relationship with him, because that's always going to be in the back of your mind. What's funny, what is kind of different about your situation is that he's never cheated on you that you know of, or, well, then again, he was texting the hoe or whatever, but you've never physically caught him cheating on you or anything like that. And so I think that until it does happen to you, you are going to constantly have that guard up, and then if it actually does happen, you're going to be devastated and you're going to be hurt and you're going to beat yourself up about it, because you're just going to be like, I knew it, like, I felt it all this time, blah blah blah, and then you're not going to be able to trust him, and then you're going to have to decide whether you want to stay or go. So in your particular situation, I just feel like you guys need to figure out what the root of all your arguments are about, if they are about the same things, and fix that particular problem. If they're about different things, then maybe it's just time for you guys to, like, throw in the towel. If he's initiating the arguments, then it could be a defense mechanism, because he may be up to no good and he's trying to keep you on your toes and just, like, take the heat off of himself because he feels guilty. But if it's you initiating the arguments, or if, like, the arguments are coming up out of nowhere, like, you guys really have to communicate and talk about it, because that means that there's something missing in your relationship, and it probably just is communication. Hi Bo, so I'd like to stay anonymous if that's okay. So I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years. He's 17 and I'm 18, and of course we've been through a lot, good and bad. 3 months into our relationship, in 2015, he got in trouble with the police and he went to training school, juvenile detention center, for almost a year. Our relationship wasn't in good terms before he left. I didn't know whether to hold the relationship down or let it go. It was only 3 months and he was very open with me at the time. It didn't even feel like a relationship to me. And he also didn't treat me very nicely. Should I keep reading this? I was just thinking, well, when he comes out, he's just going to break up with me because of the asshole he was. But of course, I decided to stay. A few months pass by, everything is still fine. I'm writing him, getting his phone calls, everything is good. Summertime comes, and one day during the summer, I went to Six Flags and I met a guy. Let's name him Chris. He's 21. We exchanged numbers, but I didn't think much of him. Just thought he was going to be like these other niggas and just talk a couple days and that's the end of it. Well, that's not what happened. We actually became very close, talked and hung out, because hanged is not a word, hung out, we hung out all summer. Lived like an hour away, but he still managed to come and see me. Since he treated me better than my boyfriend, I continued on with him. Towards the end of the summer, we stopped seeing each other, but we would still text here and there. I felt bad because he didn't know about my boyfriend, but fuck it. When my boyfriend came out, he changed a lot, and so did our relationship. But since I had met Chris, I wasn't interested in my boyfriend anymore. I wanted Chris. He's really the sweetest thing ever. But I didn't really see Chris as much. We would just text or FaceTime on the low. My boyfriend did find out about Chris and was very upset about it. But I didn't care because I wasn't interested in the relationship anymore. But days go out, we are still together, and I'm still talking to Chris on the low. Currently, my boyfriend's dumb ass gets in trouble. He's locked up again, and I'm talking to Chris. I don't care about the relationship I'm in now. When we argue and things, I tell him all the time I don't care. I don't want to be with him. but I love him and he's obviously in love with me because he won't let go. But at the same time, it's hard for me to let go too. I feel bad. I don't know for how long he's going to be locked up for yet, but if it takes too long, I'm afraid I'm going to have to just let go of him and continue on with Chris. I'm writing to you because I'm very confused with the situation. He's always disrespecting me. Like, no, you're not confused. You know exactly what's wrong with the man. You know what's wrong with the relationship. Why are you wasting my time? Like, fuck with Chris. Like, this is so easy. Like, fuck with Chris. There's no need to fuck with this ain't shit ass nigga that's gonna be in and out of jail for the next, like, 5 years, okay? Because that's how it is. He's in juvenile detention now and it's just gonna escalate because these niggas don't have guidance, and it's honestly not your job to police him or to be a mom to him. If his mom is not going to be a mom to him, if his dad is not in his life, or if his dad is not gonna, if nobody can get through to him, including yourself, then you need to just let it go. Like, there's no need to be holding on to him when he's just an ain't shit ass nigga. Like, why are you doing that? It makes no sense. I need to know. I didn't get to the end of the email, so if there's another question in here, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to read it, but you said more than once in this email that he's been disrespectful towards you, and obviously he does not deserve your time at all. For you to have stayed faithful for as long as you did while he was in jail, like, and then he came out and thought he was just gonna pick up where it left off. Like, no, you don't have time for that. You're young. You can go and do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to fuck with Chris, then you fuck with Chris. You don't have to hold this nigga down. If you're telling him you don't want the relationship, even though you're saying that you love him, I don't think you necessarily love him. I think that you are feeling almost like pity for him because you know he's in love with you despite the fact that he's being disrespectful. Like, some of these niggas don't know what love is, so don't even think that he's in love with you at all. I'm done. Hey Bo, you and Shooter are goals and I love your vids. But I need some advice. I've been talking to this boy in my school since February. He made the first move and came on to me. He's tall, funny, dresses nice, and is fine, girl. We started talking outside of school in June. We said we liked each other, and he even said how much fun I would have if I spent the summer with him. After a few days of talking, he started to take too long to reply, and once when I did suggest plans, he never gave me a straight answer. This also bothered me because we were talking through social media and he would always be online posting statuses. Eventually, we stopped texting, and later in the summer, he wrote on social media that he had a girl. Like, what the fuck? I was pissed, but I decided when school started, I would just ignore him, which worked because he kept trying to talk to me again. Long story short, we started talking again, and I'm convinced he doesn't have a girlfriend anymore, or else he wouldn't talk to me the way he does. But basically, he's really inconsistent. One day he's all over me and shows me he really likes me, and the next he treats me as if I was just anybody else, and it's confusing. Once he asked me if I was still into him and said I was really patient and that was different, and if I would wait for him to act right. What? What are these niggas on? Like, what are they on? He says he doesn't hit me up because he doesn't have a phone or doesn't have time because of school and work, but I'm thinking it's bullshit because, like I said, he's always on social media and has a chance to at least inbox me through there. I understood the first time, but every day he had an excuse. So what should I do? Should I say something? He's also super friendly, and although that's just his personality, I can't help but think he's talking to a bunch of other girls. But I don't know if it's my place to ask since I'm not his girlfriend. Sorry for the lengthy email. Love you both. Love you too. I would say something. Like, if you want to know something, you have to ask. Like, don't ever be afraid to ask a question. The only stupid question is the one that's not asked. And if you ain't asking, then, I mean, you're never going to know. You don't have to ask him straight up, like, do you have a girlfriend? You can. I mean, if that's what you want to know. But, like, you have to ask him why he does this, and then they tell him he's giving you mixed signals. Don't be afraid to approach guys. If you like a guy and you feel like that guy likes you too, or he's making it clear that he likes you, or not clear that he likes you and you're not sure and you want to know, because if you don't ask somebody if they like you and they keep doing things to make you think that they like you, but they're not saying outright, I like you, I want to eventually date you, then you're wasting your time with them because you don't know if they're gonna pop up out of the blue with a motherfucking girlfriend. Who's to say he even had a girlfriend? He probably just updated that status because he wanted, I don't even know, he wanted somebody to be jealous like you. I think that you should just like approach him and ask him if you guys are cool and close like you're saying, then it shouldn't even be an issue to slip it in one of your conversations or like lead up to that if you must. But yeah, I think that you should ask him. Don't be afraid to ask him. If you don't ask him, you're not going to know, and then you're going to make a fool out of yourself. Like, at least if you get an answer and a straight answer, then if it's yes, then cool, pursue it. If it's no, then at least you know and you can move the fuck on. You don't give him as much attention as you're giving him, because clearly the attention that you're giving him is allowing him to continue leading you on, if that's in fact what he's doing. Earlier this year, I met this boy. He was 18 and I was 15. Now he's 19 and I'm 16. At first it started off pretty good. We were talking for 3 months and then started dating in the beginning of May. Now I believe I am too young to have a full-on relationship and I should relax and enjoy my youth, and at first that's what I had planned. I did not think our relationship was going to last past the summer. But over the summer I was inviting him to my house without my mom knowing. Before this, she had made it perfectly clear to me that she didn't want me talking to him. So one day he came over to my house and my sister walked in on us while he was giving me head, and she told my mom. My mom flipped out. She called the police and tried to get him arrested and put a restraining order on him, so if he comes on our property he'll get arrested. When this first happened, I had all the intentions on not talking to him, but that didn't last very long because I was still following him on Snapchat and he was posting stuff about how much he missed me and how much he loves me, and he was telling me he loved me before all the mess happened, and I wouldn't say it back because I just thought he was trying to get in my panties and lying. Also, I didn't feel that way, but I did like him, of course. So I'm seeing all this on Snapchat, and I know he knew I didn't have a phone for a few weeks. So I'm seeing all this on Snapchat, and I know he knew I didn't have a phone for a few weeks. So I finally got another phone, and that's when I started seeing his snaps, and I was posting anything about him, but we were watching each other's stories. I think she meant I wasn't. Like, y'all gotta spell check before you send these damn emails, okay? To me, it's hard to get over someone y'all been talking for months every single day. So during the time we weren't talking, I started feeling the same way he was. So one night I posted on my Snapchat and said, I want to talk to you, but I don't know what to say. And from there we started talking back and forth on our Snapchat stories, and then we worked out our relationship, and now I feel I found my best friend. We talk every day, and we even planned out our future together. Nope. Our only problem is my mom. My mom hates him. If she found out we were still talking and hanging out, she would have shipped me off to my dad. I feel so bad going behind my mom's back like this. It's starting to stress me out, but at the same time, when I'm with him, I just feel so carefree. It's crazy. And the only person keeping us together is his mom, because his dad does not want him talking to me because he thinks I'm trouble. And his mom loves me. Like, she really wants to meet me, and we've only spoken over the phone once. And she's on board with our relationship. So what I want to know is, should I stay with him or should I just let it go? Listen, one of the questions that I was asked the other day in my question and answer was, what is something I would have told, I think, my 18-year-old self? And it was, listen to your mother. That is the one thing I would tell myself. Like, if I was able to talk to my 18-year-old self, I would be like, listen to mom, because mom knows best, okay? Because my whole entire, like, high school to, like, after high school, I wasn't listening to that lady. I was doing my own thing, feeling carefree. Like, this really does remind me of my situation, and at the end of it, she didn't want me with the guy I was with, and she had her reasons. She never shared her reasons with me. She just told me, like, no, I'm too young, blah, blah, blah. And of course, as a 16-year-old, I wasn't hearing it. Of course I'm not going to hear it, because I felt like I was in love. I felt like he loved me. Like, it was all good in the hood. But that relationship obviously isn't the relationship I'm in now. That relationship ended really badly, and because I didn't listen to my mom, I could have avoided that heartbreak. Granted, I feel like I needed to go through that heartbreak so I could, you know, learn from it. But if there's one thing that I would say in this situation is listen to your mom, and he needs to listen to his dad. Not saying that you are trouble. I'm just saying, like, parents really do know what's best for their kids, and they only want what's best for you. You're like, your mom's not trying to stop your happiness. Like, you know, she's not trying to do that. She wants you to be happy, and she knows that the relationship you're in is not okay. A 19-year-old guy should not be trying to date 15, 16-year-old girls. Like, he's out of high school now. He needs to be looking at people out of high school. You're in high school. You're young. You're impressionable. And he's just too old. Even if he's like immature, he's still too old. Like, it's not acceptable. And I think your mom is very right to not want you to date him, and you sneaking behind your mom's back is bad. And you can really damage your relationship with your mom that way. I've done that 100 times. I've lost my mom's trust so many times when I was younger, because I would do things that she wouldn't want me doing, and I had to regain that trust. And regaining somebody's trust is very, very difficult to do, especially when it's a parent. So if I were you, I would back the fuck off, okay? I would stop trying to, like, pursue this guy, because honestly, the relationship with your mom is way more important than the relationship with this little boy. It really is. I got a boy. Yes, for the boys. Yes, honey. I love when boys email me, okay? I'm so sorry for the length of this email. He would like me to read it in my British accent. I'll probably get through like half of it, but hey Bo, you got a male subscriber all the way from England. Canada is like my favorite cousin at a family get together to England. We love you over here. I love you and Shooter. I've watched your videos since the virginity story, and I've been entertained ever since. And I thank you for that. Oh, you're welcome. But hey, my name's Shaquille, and yes, like the basketballer. Basketballer, that's so cute. We would just say basketball player. But I just need some help or advice to my little life situation. I'm 19, gonna turn 20 at the end of April next year. Taurus gang, yes. Basically, my mom wants to move out ASAP. I have an okay paycheck. At the end of the month, I work 2 jobs. I'm a really hard worker. But my mom is just killing me with all these payments I have to give her, like money just to stay in the house. That's about £200 a month, which isn't bad for me. But she be wanting me to give her extra money on top of all that, and it really stresses me out. Like, where she do that at? Like, where? And it doesn't even help that my own sister doesn't want me to live at home anymore, which honestly and truly gets me depressed. And I just can't take it anymore. I do cry about it sometimes, you know, just, you know us Tauruses, LOL. So for a while, my mom's been saying, oh, you're going to have to find a place of your own. If you don't like it here, you should go. Come out to my blood clot house. Do I read that in a patois, or do I read that in Jamaican, in British? I don't know. Basically making me feel like I'm putting stress on her. Makes me feel like I'm not wanted in my home anymore. But Now this time she's saying it for real now, and I'm kind of shook. I have been looking for places of my own, but the government over here is too damn slow, and I'm trying to tell her that, but she's not having any of it. By the way, did I say she was a Sagittarius too? Oh my freaking goodness! Oh my gosh! I so resonate. Oh my gosh, I so empathize with you, boo. Sympathize, empathize, all that, okay? Oh my gosh. I mean, I love my mom. She's done everything for me, but I would have to have hoped that she had a little more heart and let me stay till I actually find a place, but no. So when you told stories about how you and your mom's relationship was in some of your stories you told, I really connected with that, because I feel like I'm going through what you went through. Not quite the same, but similar. I feel like I'm really not ready to move out quite yet, and if my mom ends up kicking me out, I'm really gonna hold a grudge and fully block that ass from my life, and maybe just my whole family, and just be by myself. So I'm in need of some help. I just needed some advice and how you dealt with things like this. What's some things you do? I love you both. Hope you read this email. You got a loyal subscriber here, and thank you for everything. I love you so much. Okay, well, he didn't say I love you so much. I was saying I love you so much. I honestly feel this one. Like, I really feel this situation. Like, it just brings me back. But the first thing I'm gonna say is not to hold a grudge. I totally get it. I was pissed too when my mom kicked me out, despite the fact that it was my fault. But like, I was feeling a little entitled, I think, at that time, and I was acting entitled, that's for sure, and I think that played a big role in my getting kicked out. Now, once your parents fed up, they're fed up. I don't think it's fair that your sister is like egging on the situation and even having a say in the situation. If you've been paying and helping out with the bills around the house, I'm not quite sure why it's still an issue, because like with me, I wasn't even doing that, like barely, like legit barely, because I wasn't working enough to do it anyway. I don't know what websites are out there in the UK, but I would suggest looking on well, here I would just use Kijiji and like look for somebody looking for a roommate or something like that, or like go to a friend's house until you can get a place of your own. Like, you might have to couch surf for a little while. Couch surfing sucks ass, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Like, it's crazy. It's so crazy that we get to this place with our parents and there's nothing we can do about it, because at the end of the day, it's not our house, and what our parents says goes, and like, if they want to kick us out, they have every right to. I don't think I could personally ever do that to my kids, even if my kid had a bad, spoiled ass attitude, and like, you know, I don't think I could ever do that to my kids, just because I've been through it and I know how much it sucks, and I know how long it took me to figure it out and like get back on my feet. So I don't think I could do that to my kids. But like, you get cornered or your back's up against the wall, like, you just have to, you'll figure it out. Like, don't doubt yourself, you will figure it out. And that is what I had to do when I was at my lowest point, is when I was in the shelter. And even though I was in the shelter, I still found it in myself. I was the first night, well, I want to do a story time, so I don't want to say too much, but like, when I had to go live in a shelter, I was devastated and I didn't want to go, but I knew that I didn't have any other options, and that was the last resort. Like, I had exhausted all favors from whoever I could exhaust favors from. Like, I was just done, and I was done couch surfing, and I was done invading people's homes. I was like, if this is what I have to do to figure it out, if this is what my life is going to be, it was just like a big reality check. And so I don't know how it is over there. I don't know how the shelters work over there. especially because you'd probably go into a men's shelter or a family shelter. I would say to just explore that option. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I really thought it was going to be worse, just because I'm the type of person that if I see homeless people on the street, I'll talk to them. And so I remember one year, I was probably like 19, and I was going out with friends, and there's this little girl, and she was literally like, she was younger than 19, and she was homeless, and she was on the street, and she was just like curled up, like not in the fetal position, but she was sitting on the ground, and she had her knees tucked to her chest. And I was talking to her, and I was asking her like what is your reason for being outside? Like, I don't understand, why wouldn't you go to a shelter? And the way she said it was how she doesn't like the shelter because people steal your things and blah blah blah. And so that's the image that I had of the shelter for the entire time. So years down the line, when I had to go to the shelter, I was just like, that was what I was thinking. But I was like, oh my god, I don't want to go to the shelter, because I felt like people were gonna steal my things. And it was more than just that. Obviously, it was just the aspect of sleeping in a room with strangers and not knowing, like, just being extremely uncomfortable and out of my element and out of the zone. Like, I just was not about that life, but I had to be about that life because I didn't have any other options. And so I just feel like you need to just see what you can do. Like, that's last resort. You don't have to like start looking for a shelter now, because they're pretty hard to get into. But I would say to look for somebody online that's looking for a roommate. That way you still would be paying around the same amount that you're giving your mom anyway, and that way you could still save to get your own place. And then if you don't want to do that option, then you can go stay with a friend or a family member, somebody that is willing to help you. I personally have one person that I can always run to, and it's just, I'm blessed that way. I have one person that I can run to when shit hits the fan, and that's where I go, or that's where I've gone all these years. But even at one point, I felt like I exhausted that too, and I just had to get out, and that's how I ended up in the shelter. And so I think that you'll be fine. You should definitely explore your options and see what you can do. Don't worry too much about your mom or your sister. Just move quietly, and don't give them the satisfaction of you moving out on their watch. Move out on your watch. So if your mom wants you to move out by the 1st, move out by the 29th. Like, you know what I mean? Don't wait until the date that she gave you to move out. Move out before then, so the power's in your hand. Even if you're going to a shelter, leave beforehand, because you literally have nothing to lose. And I get it why you want to grudge your family, but don't do it. It's not worth it. Life is way too short. You will get over those things. You can be mad, but don't grudge them. Like, you can be upset about it. You can feel how you want to feel about it. You can voice how you feel about it. You can argue with them about it, but do not hold that grudge. Taurus are stubborn. We're extremely stubborn, so it's easy for us to hold a grudge, or easy for us to not forget. I don't want you to do that, because even though you feel like your mom's not there for you, she's been there for you your entire life. Like, that's why when it comes to arguing and my relationship with my mom, if we argue about something, I try not to grudge her, just because I have to look at it like, okay, yes, she's doing this to me now, but like, for 20 odd years, she's done nothing but be a good mom to me. So why let this little thing of something that's partially my fault, if not majority or all my fault, why let that be a reason that I'm holding a grudge against my mother? She doesn't deserve that. So your sister's another story, but at the same time, I have 4 sisters. I fought with every single one of them. No, I fought with 3 out of 4 sisters, and I know what it's like to not have that communication with your sisters and how hard it is to rekindle that relationship. So I'm gonna suggest to you to not beef hurt your sister. It sucks. It's not fun. Like, at the end of the day, it's family. And even if you guys fight and you feel like they're not treating you well, there's still love there. There's still love there at the end of the day, and never forget that. Hey Bo, I'd like to remain anonymous. I just got done having sex with a guy. We'll call him John. Well, you know what, never mind. I'm not going to make a prostitute joke right now. Within the past hour or so. This is the second time we've done it, and it is amazing. And the head is the best I've ever had. OMG. I'm surprised he still gave me the head, even though I didn't give him any. This time was the first time we had sex, and I was in my feelings, and I was getting teary-eyed. I know John has other females. I also have another fuck buddy. We'll call him Will. He's more mature and keeps to himself. We don't give each other head. We haven't had sex a few weeks, and I kind of miss him. But I'll hook up with him one more time later in the week with his sexy ass. Both of them said they aren't looking for a relationship. It seems like every guy I come across says they don't want a relationship. Sometimes I find myself wanting a relationship, and sometimes I find myself having fun slutting it out, as you would say. Slutting it up, as I would say. Not out. Up. I am using protection, by the way. Why does good sex put you in your feelings? How can I have a better way of making sure I don't get my feelings involved after some good wood? Giving up sex is not an option for me. I love it. Please help. I'm lost. P.S. I love you and your videos. You're the bomb. I can't help you. You need to seek therapy because you're probably addicted to sex, and that is not something I can help you with. I don't know how to deal with a sex addict, but don't whore yourself out. Feminists may not like that I said that, but that's too bad. That's too fucking bad. Don't whore yourself out. Like, why are you so easily and willing to have multiple sexual partners knowing how real diseases are, knowing that AIDS is a real thing, protection or no protection? Like, how are you so free and willing to do those things? I mean, good sex is great. Like, you know, I cannot sit up here and tell you guys to not have casual sex because I've had casual sex, but I have never gotten in my feelings. For example, the last story time I told about the one night stand, like, I didn't have feelings for that nigga, and I didn't grow feelings for that nigga, and no, just no. I don't think that it's fair that men can go out and do those things and women can't. I don't think that's fair, but at the same time, it's just like, as a woman, if you do respect yourself, you won't be out there in the world like that. You won't be having sex with every Tom, Dick, and Harry and John, apparently. Like, you're not going to be doing that because there's no need to. Like, if you want a relationship, there's something inside you that is holding you back from that. There's something inside you that is trying to fill that void with sex. Like, you have a void and you're trying to fill it with sex, and that's not right. I try to encourage, I don't know how old you are, doesn't matter. I try to encourage my subscribers to hold on to their virginities. I try to tell you guys how much sex is not worth it. Like, like, I try to tell you guys, whether you listen or not is not my business. My business is telling you what you should be hearing, and that's it. What you do with the information I give you is your business. It's ultimately up to you. If you want to have sex with your boyfriend and you're 14, I'm not going to agree with it. Hell the fuck no. I don't think anybody would agree with that. But if that's the decision you choose to make, that's a decision you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life. With you, in particular, you're having sex with John and you're having sex with the other guy. You said to me in this email that you know that John has multiple women. You don't know these women. You don't know what these women have. John could have motherfucking herpes, bitch, and just because you don't see it on his lip don't mean that he ain't got it, okay? So you're letting John eat your coochie out, and he's probably not using a screen to do it, because who the fuck uses screens for head? Like, they're there for that reason, but I don't know anybody that's ever used a screen to get their pussy ate. Like, to me, that's kind of like you're opening yourself to diseases by doing that. You don't know what's wrong with his saliva, girl. You could get yeast infection, anything. And to me, if you had sex with somebody and you get any type of anything, UTI, freaking yeast infection, chlamydia, whatever it is, if that happens to you, just think of how much worse it could be. Like, you could get anything. And in this world with people just freely sleeping with everybody all willy-nilly, it's not safe to be having sex with multiple people, or to not having sex with multiple people, because say you fuck John just finished fucking Sarah just finished fucking Tim and Dave been fucking Christine, Peter, and freaking Nelly. Like, you don't know who everybody else that you're sleeping with is sleeping with. So, like, you can't be out here fucking these niggas. Like, so, no, you can't. No matter how much they tell you they're only fucking you, you can't guarantee that. One, especially because you're not in a relationship, and two, just because niggas ain't shit and niggas lie. Even the ones that are in relationships will lie. So it's just like, why are you exposing yourself to that and risking your health for that? It's your vagina. You're gonna do with it what you please. But, like, I'm just saying, you need to be taking way better care of yourself. If you truly do care about yourself and love yourself and respect yourself, you will do better. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I read the first couple lines of this email, like, I was very, no. I'm not gonna say I was disgusted, because that's too much, but I was kind of caught off guard. And I'm just gonna put this out there, that if you are the type of girl that does like to sleep around, or if you are into having frequent casual sex with different people, and you talk to guys and you kind of want a relationship, and you start to pursue somebody, or you see somebody that you like, that you're thinking about, I kind of want to be in a relationship with him, and you start talking to him, guys get a vibe off of you if you've been hoeing. Like, they know if you are the type of girl to give it up freely. And even if you think that the two people that you're fucking don't know each other, there's no way in how they can know each other, they might have a mutual friend, and that friend might, like, you never know. Like, you don't want your name out there in these streets, okay? So I would just whoa, I have hiccups. I would just say that you need to be careful, and you need to be taking better care of yourself, and you need to seek help for this sex addiction that you got going on, okay? And the only reason I'm calling it a sex addiction is because you said giving up sex is not an option for you. You love sex. Loving sex is great. Everybody loves sex. I love sex, but I love sex with the right person. I don't love sex with Tom, Dick, and Harry, John, Billy, and Steven. Like, no. I don't think in my life I've ever had more than one sexual partner at a time. And just no. Not okay. Okay? No. And looky here. Hey Bo, I love your channel, and I knew you were the right person to ask for this situation because you always keep it real. So I've been talking to a boy, we'll call him Trey, on and off for the past 2 years. At first, he was just a crush, because when we met, I was young as fuck, and I wasn't ready for the stuff he was throwing at me. He eventually turned into the side nigga, but I finally gave him a chance, and things are getting serious low-key. I went over to his house last week and we had sex for the first time. Oh my god, you guys, please, like, you're a fucking baby. Why? Like, why? You know what? I'm gonna stop being Captain Save-A-HOE because I can't save these hoes. I can't. And I'm not gonna try no more. Like, I've been trying to save you guys, but it's like it's going in one ear and out the motherfucking other. Shout out to all the people that have taken my advice off jump, not even like interacting with me, not even sending me Botox, literally seeing my virginity story and like keeping that story with them in their heart. Like, shout out to y'all, because y'all get it. Everybody else, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Oh my god. I was originally supposed to lose my virginity to him. What do you mean? What do you mean, boo? How are you, like, y'all planning to give this shit away like it's fucking birthday cake? I'm done with life. But I lost it to my first boyfriend, we'll call him Sean, who I dated over the summer. I totally regret losing it to him because that dick was trash AF. Oh my god, poor babies. You poor kids, man. Like, this is the shit right here that frightens me to bring a child into this world. Boy or girl, doesn't matter. I am so scared to bring a baby into this world because of shit like this. Like, I don't want my kid coming home at 15 and telling me this. Like, I really don't. Could you imagine going to your mom and telling her you fucked some boy but his dick was trash? Could you imagine doing that? Because I can't imagine any 15-year-old doing that. Like, how could you go to your mom and be like, Mom, I had sex and it was crap? Like, you're not grown. You're not fucking grown. I'm so, oh my gosh. A few days ago, I went to get a sports physical and to get on birth control, and my doctor suggested that I take a pregnancy test and an STD test. I came back positive for chlamydia. Lesson better be motherfucking learned, okay? I'm not gonna say you deserve it because nobody deserves to catch an STD, but like, you're too young to be having sex. You're too young to be having sex that you're uneducated about sex. And if you're uneducated about sex, you definitely shouldn't be having sex. Because if you was educated, bitch, you wouldn't have got chlamydia. Because I've been educated about sex, I ain't never had an STD. So I must be doing something right, like, for real. For real. Anyway, when I say my jaw dropped, it was on the floor. I used protection with trace. So I told Sean I had it, and he said he got checked a few weeks ago and he was clean, but he made another appointment just to be sure and has yet to get the results back. Keep in mind, I haven't had sex with Sean since September, and he doesn't know Trey or that I had sex with him. I really don't want to tell Trey because I have feelings for him and I don't want to ruin things. Also, since I took the pills and everything, and if the test results for Sean come back positive, it would be sort of pointless to tell him. But if I did somehow get it from him, I need to let him know, although we use a condom, he might possibly have it too. What should I do? What are you asking me? Like, first of all, the responsible thing to do is be like, I've only had 2 sexual partners. One being my ex, and the next one being you. We just recently had sex. I got an STD check and I have chlamydia. I don't know if you have it. I don't know if he has it. He said he got checked a while back. Like, just tell him exactly what you told me. Why am I even quoting all this shit? Just tell him exactly what you told me. If you're embarrassed by that, that's too bad. You shouldn't have been fucking him to begin with, and you wouldn't have to tell him nothing, because why are you spreading ego for this nigga that you're not in a relationship with, first of all? Secondly, you're 15. So what are you doing having sex, and what are you doing with chlamydia? Those 2 things do not go with 15, let me tell you. And the other thing is too, you're very right. If Sean does get back to you and tells you, oh shit, yeah, I have it too, you're in the clear in a sense, but at the same time you do, even though you use protection, you still need to inform the other guy, because you can't have an STD and just because you use a condom think that it wasn't transmitted, despite the fact that, you know, condoms protect against a lot of different things. You still need to cover your bases, because you can't allow him to go fuck somebody else and then him pass the disease on not knowing because you knew and didn't say something to him. Doesn't matter if you use a condom or not. It is your responsibility to share with your sexual partners what's going on with your vagina. So I think that's really important. So you better take care of your situation. I'm very disappointed. I don't know what is wrong with you little girls. I really don't. I am opening my emails back, you guys. You guys can email me, but please, like, please, if your situation is something you know that I can't help you with, don't email me, because you're just wasting my time and you're wasting everybody else's time, because there's a lot of times I get emails and I'll read half of them and they don't get put into the video because I'm just like, this is such a waste of an email, a waste of my time. I'm pissed. And like, I'll start reading it, I'll get halfway through, and then I'll realize like it's either like made up, or it's just not fair to other people that really do need genuine help. So if your situation is not dire, like, don't send me an email this week. If your situation is something that I've already addressed in a previous Botox, like, a lot of y'all email me about this. It's almost like the same girl is emailing me every single time when you guys email me about having sex with this guy, or my boyfriend ain't shit. Like, when it's like that, I don't like it, and it's very frustrating for me. And like, look at how spread out my Botox are. I haven't done Botox in over a month, so so sorry. But yeah, please, if you do really need help, send me an email. If you don't, just don't email me. Or wait it out until I'm accepting certain emails. Anyway, I'm talking too much. My email is botalks@gmail.com. Hit me up if you need to. I love you all, and I will definitely see you in the next one.